right, so if you're in my class, so you know, this is not your homework. This is a review, though. So if you're following along, it's a great review. But it was actually requested by a student somewhere else. And you know me. If you're my student, you know me. And you know I love math. So I figured, hey, why not? I would love to help this fabulous person, and maybe I'll help you guys as well if you're reviewing. So this is just multiplying fractions, which is something that, you know, I love to do. So we're just going to go straight through it. We know when we're multiplying a whole number by a fraction, we're really just multiplying the whole number times the numerator, and our denominator would stay the same. And the reason we know that is because if I wanted to express 3 wholes, a fraction would be 3 over 1, because 3 divided by 1 is still 3 whole. So it would be 3 times 1 and 1 times 6. Or in other words, again, your whole number times your numerator, your denominator stays the same. So when you do that, 3 times 1 is 3, and your denominator stays the same, you get 3/6. But in your directions, it says write it in simplest form. So I need to create an equivalent fraction. I need to think, what multiple do they share? What could I divide both of them by? And they both share a common factor of 3. So if I divided 3, we talked about the reason that we divide it both, because if I divide them both by 3, 3/3 is 1 whole, so I'm just dividing this by 1, which means it's equivalent, has the same value. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Voila! Wow! I know, it's awesome. I love fractions too. It's awesome. Let's just be honest. All right, look at number 3. Again, when we're multiplying fraction times a fraction, just like we did here when I explained the 3 over 1 business, it's going to be our our numerator times our numerator, and our denominator times our denominator. I have 3. 5 times 3 is 15, and then 4 times 9 is 36. Now what I want to do is I want to figure out what common factor do they both share, and they both share a common factor of 3. I can divide them by 3, both of them by 3/3. Boom. So 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 36 divided by 3, I know that 3 can go into 3 one time, and then 6 can go into 3 2 times, so you get 5/12. Now, something that you could do to save you a little time is you could have realized that when you cross multiply here, these share a common multiple, and I could have reduced right there and said 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3, and you have got the same answer. 5 times 1 is 5, 3 times 4 is 12. It would have saved you a step, but not all of us are there yet. Okay, look at number 4. You can do what I just told you here, because these two that are across are both share a common factor of 2. You can reduce them by dividing both of them by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. And now I have a much simpler answer. 2 times 1 is 2, and 7 times 2 is, no, 7 times 1, because I reduced. 7 times 1 is 1. I'm just trying to play that in my head and make sure that makes sense. 4 times 2 times 1 time is 2. Oh, 7 times 1 is 7. I was like, that does not make sense. Sorry, guys. It's late for me. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I don't know about you. All right, so again, what I did is I realized that I can look at across. I know these two can't be divided, but these two shared a common factor of 2, so I divided them both by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then I'm just multiplying my numerators and my denominators. 2 times 1 is 2, 7 times 1 is 7. If you would not have reduced and you would have multiplied them across, 4 times 1 would be 4, and 7 times 2 would be 14, and then you would still have to divide them both by 2 halves, which would give you this same answer. So again, different strategies. Here again, anytime we're multiplying by a whole number, it's just our whole number times our numerator. Denominator stays the same. The rule we talked about is 20 whole is the same thing as saying 20 over 1. So a whole number gives you 20. Denominator stays the same, is 8. And then you want to simplify it. You want to reduce it to a lesser equivalent fraction. In this instance, it's in an improper, so I could take it to mixed first, or I can go ahead and take it down. So I know both of these share, let's see, this has got 2, 4. Oh, they both have multiples of factors of 4, because this is 4 times 2 and this is 4 times 5. So if I divide them both by 4 over 4, I would get 5 halves. So this is an acceptable answer, but there's also another acceptable answer. This is our fraction greater than 1, and then if I want to make it into a mixed number, I know that 5 divided by 2, 5 can go into 2 times, which means I got rid of 4 halves, which leaves me with 1/2. So 5.5 is equivalent to 2 1/2, which is also equivalent to 220 over 8, but you wanted it in simplest forms. Again here, and I love to do this, I love to look at my diagonals. Right here, these two don't share a common factor, but these two do. They could actually both be divided by 4. Yo, I think you're one of my students who just logged on. Zombie Ninja. So guess what? So this like random person who now I've decided I love. This random person asked me to post a video and help them with their homework, lesson 7.6, which is fractions. So I'm helping them with their homework. I don't know who they are, but I love fractions, so I figured I'd help them. But anyways, so if we look across and we see that these two share a common factor, we can divide it by the common factor. So they both can be divided by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. And now I can just multiply my numerators and my denominators, and I get 3/10. Boom. Drop the mic on that one, buddies. Again, like I talked about before, if you didn't realize that these two could be reduced right away, you would do 4 times 3 and you would have gotten 12. And then you would have done 5 times 8, which would have given you 40. And then you would divide both by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3, 40 divided by 4 is 10. This saved you time, but does take a little thought. Okay, again here, I can look at my crosses and see if they share a common multiple, and I can reduce right away. These two actually share a common, not multiple, common factor. They can both be divided by, in fact, 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. No, Zombie Ninja, this is not homework. This is some random person asked me to help them with lesson 7.6. They're doing fractions. I don't know, but I thought I'd help them. I'm crazy. But I did already post tonight's homework video. So if you go back and you look at the playlist for Unit 9, it's the second video in the playlist. Oh, anyways, so these two both shared that common factor of 3, so I divided both of them by 3. And these two, in fact, also share the common factor of 7. If you divide both of them, you get 1. And boom, just like that. Drop the mic, folks, because 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times is 3. Boom, boom. It was so easy and so fun, by the way. Fun is what I'm talking about. Again, if you didn't realize that you could cross multiply to reduce those, you would have done 7 times 6, which would have given you 42. And 7 times 9, which would have given you 63. And this right here, folks, would have taken a long time to reduce to get to here. So it's always good to look across. Same thing here. I can rewrite this as a fraction over 1, and I've got whole number times my numerator. Your denominator would stay the same. This one's super easy. By the way, Zombie, way to go on that answer. Anyways, whole number times your numerator, your denominator stays the same. Done. That one's super easy. There's not even any reducing. I'm not going to waste my time with this. You should hopefully recognize this at this point, and then you need to reduce. 28 can go into 14 how many times? You figure that out. Okay, so now I'm back here and I wanted to go here because I actually am now finding these fun. Again, look at your diagonals. If they share a common factor, they can be reduced right away. This doesn't share a common factor because dividing by 1 is not going to change, but these two can both be divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 would give you 1, and 3 divided by 3 would give you 1. So now I'm really multiplying 1 times 1 and 4 times 1. So if you look at your diagonals first, it gives you a lot less reducing in the long run. So just saying, it's a little word of warning there. I wonder, you go, zombie. Okay, so I didn't know if I could do that. Apparently, I can do that. So number 11, Karen raked 3/5 of the yard. Minnie raked 1/3 of the amount Karen raked. How much of the yard did Minnie rake? I'm gonna do cubes. I'm gonna circle my numbers. I got 3/5 of the yard, and I have 1/3 of the amount Karen raked. So underline my question, which is how much of the yard did Minnie rake? And now I'm going to box that operation word. So this says 3/5 of the yard, and then Minnie raked 3/5 of the amount Karen raked. So she raked 1/3 of the 3/5, and of tells us we're going to do a very specific operation. I'm going to take these two numbers. Yes, you're the only person in this life because it's late. It's late. You should be sleeping. There was a lot of people in the other live that was actually your homework. But yeah, they went to bed already. For reals. Again, if you look at your diagonals first and see if you can reduce, it's going to save you a little bit of time in the long run. These two can't be reduced because 5 divided by 1 is still 5. But these two can both be divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And again, you're multiplying now 1 times 1 and 5 times 1. So much easier. Boom. I love those problems. You know, I didn't teach you guys to do that. So now I'm going to teach you when I reteach fractions because that's so much easier. In the pet show, 3/8 of the pets are dogs. Of the dogs, 2/3 have long hair. What is the fraction of the pets are dogs with long hair? So again, I was telling us to multiply, and so you're just going to do 3/8 times 2/3. And again, look at your diagonals. Do they share any common factors? Clearly, you can see here that they could both be divided by 3, which would be, I can just reduce those down to 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Look at this other diagonal. Does it share any common factors? Hopefully you recognize that they can both be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. And now I have a very easy answer. 1 times 1, 4 times 1. That was so fun. Oh my gosh, I think I just found like my new fraction calling. My friend in class this summer is so right that I should change the YouTube name to Foreman's Fabulous Fractions, but I'm not going to. For whoever this friend is and wherever they live, I'm going to do just maybe 2 more, and then I'm going to call it a night because, well, I need to sleep too. But this is really cool. So you've got 7/8 times C, and it says C equals 8. So all you're doing is taking this 8 and putting it right there. So you're really just doing 7/8 times, instead of saying C, 7/8 times 8. So super easy. And again, what I told you before is you can make this a fraction over 1. And so you could do your whole number times your denominator stay the same. But since I'm loving this, what's happening right now, this is your numerator. This is your diagonal on it. They can both be divided by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 8 divided by 8 is 1. And you actually get 7 over 1. 7 over 1. 7 divided by 1 is equivalent to 7 whole. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I am liking this business, just saying. And then here, see, zombie. I'm not quite sure who Zombie Ninja is, but you're very smart. So I like you. You're having fun with fractions with me. It's awesome. All right, so exact same thing here. This t, instead of writing t, we're going to write what it is. T is 8/9. So I can do 8/9 times 3/4. And again, look at your diagonals first and see if you can divide them both by the same number. 4 and 8 can both be divided by a common factor. The common factor that they both shared, well, they do both share a 2, but they could also both be divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I divided both of those by 4. And these two also can be reduced by dividing them by a common factor. They can both be divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And just like that, you get this super easy answer. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this. I could do this like all night because it's fun. But I'm not going to because I'm starting to go into La La Land to go to sleep. You see, as fun as this math is, my head is spinning right now because it says bedtime. So I'm going to bed and you go to bed too, and I will see you in the morning. I will be there at 8:15 if you want any math help from last night. Night, 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 guys.